Is this thing on? Okay, so this is real life, my friends. This is bags under the eyes. This is what happens when you are so exhausted from a weekend of traveling, but it was so worth it. So we're doing a vlog this week because that's what I have time for, and I want to share some thoughts. So here we go. All right, I just dropped my kids off at school, which is amazing. I love it. Love it for them. Love it for me. And now I'm going to head home, and I'm going to try and somehow feel like a human being who maybe can get some things done. Because I need to, and I'm going to share what that looks like. So let's get home, shall we? Okay, we're home. Let's go inside. The most important thing we do as soon as we get home is get a second cup of coffee because there's not enough coffee in the world today. I need more sugar. Okay, let's do it. Let's chat. So this is real life, y'all. This is me with no makeup on. Very tired. A couch that keeps making that noise. It's not me, it's the couch. And we're just going to chat today about some stuff. Do you have your coffee? If not, you should go get some. So it's Monday morning, and I got in last night from Texas. Yes, I went to Texas, but for a good reason. I was at a Women in Medicine conference in Dallas, Texas, and it was super fun. I got to meet people that I know from social media that I bet if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, which if you don't, do it, the names are there, then you probably know these people too. People that I have known online for the past 3 years or so, and now I know them in real life. And these are people who are OBGYNs, who are other kinds of physicians, who are nurses, who are just people who I feel like I really know, and they know me because we connect so much in the interwebs and we share a lot of the same passions. And gosh, we looked good. We looked good. We didn't look like this, which I am all about love yourself how you are. Like, I don't care that there are bags under my eyes. I don't care that I haven't showered yet today. I'm here to show you that you can be beautiful no matter what, and it's how you feel on the inside. Anyway, that is the end of that inspirational message. But we cleaned up real nice. And we got to hear from people who were speaking and experts on how to be leaders, how to pivot your practice, how to show up as you on social media, all that good stuff. And then we got to dance a little bit too. And that was a lot of fun. Here's the thing though, I did not anticipate how angry I would be in Texas. Now, if you follow me, you know that I have some things to say about abortion rights, birth control, all that good stuff. And I'm really pissed off with what's happening in the country right now with the SCOTUS leak, with what happened a few months ago in Texas, SB 8. I've known this objectively. I've known that it makes me angry. I've known that I'm not okay that we're legislating away the rights to our bodies. As soon as that plane touched down in Dallas, I felt angry because I knew that I was in a part of the country that did not see me as a full citizen, meaning that were I pregnant, which, friends, I am not, we're done with that journey, I wouldn't be able to do what I wanted to do or what I needed to do just because of where my feet happened to be standing on the ground in that moment. I was not prepared to feel so viscerally angry. I live in Oregon. I am in a bubble. I am in a state that has some of the most protective rights when it comes to reproductive rights. And I've always known that. And I've always said that's why I have to speak out. It's why people like us, we need to speak up. But it really took me leaving this area and my bubble and going somewhere else and feeling that feeling of feeling trapped. Now, you may be watching this and saying, Dr. Jen, you're being dramatic. People can just leave. People can move. People can go to other states. Rich people can. Sure. But the thought that I had that just really kind of blew my mind is, we live in the United States of America. We are one country. Why is it that your zip code so drastically affects your ability to have access to things that are basic human rights, like the ability to have control over your body? And my inner voice said, Jen, you're so dumb. Like, of course, it's always been this way, right? Whether or not you get sex education depends on your zip code. Whether or not you have access to like insurance that pays for things depends on your zip code, because lots of states have done Medicaid expansion and some haven't. And you know, if you're watching this, Maybe you were able to get a surgical procedure in one state covered, but not in another. Or, a certain type of birth control, depending on the kind of hospital you walked into. Anyway, I knew this objectively, but emotionally, it wasn't until I was in a place that had just so recently been so aggressively anti-choice, anti-reproductive rights, that I felt like I had a target on my back. Now, I am a white woman, English-speaking woman. I'm a physician. I know my privilege. I know it. That's why we're here doing these things, because I have the privilege, I have the power, I need to use it. I spent 3 days in Texas. And can I tell you the chronic stress I felt, because of course I've got my reproductive rights shirt on. I got my No Sex in Texas shirt on. I got my sugar and spice and reproductive rights shirt, because I want people to be uncomfortable around me. I want them to know that I'm not okay with this, and this is what I believe in. And I'll have the links to the No Sex in Texas shirt you can get in the show notes. And I'm a badass bitch. Like, I believe in what I believe in. I will tell you to your face, but I'm also a human. And so when I walked off that plane into the Dallas airport, DFW, I felt a little like, ugh. Like when certain guys were looking at my shirt and I could tell didn't like me. I tried to stand proud, but there were definitely times where I folded in a little bit. Now contrast that to when I wear all these shirts in Portland, Oregon. People are like, that's awesome. Where'd you get? At the basis of how I feel safe here. And I don't feel safe in Texas. And this is how people who are Black and brown, who are trans, who do not fit on the gender binary, all these things, this is how they feel every day. And I walked around feeling like this is what it's like to be a second-class citizen. And I experienced it for a weekend. And these people experience it their whole lives. And again, objectively, I've known this, but I think it's important that people like us who are in a bubble, we go out and we experience these things. So yeah, it was hard to be in Texas. Don't worry, I put my Plan C stickers all over the friggin' bathrooms. One moment, we need to hydrate. So I have some thoughts. About that. I also met an amazing OBGYN, and I can say she's an OBGYN because she just graduated from med school and she's going to start her residency and become one of us. And she's awesome. She's going to do great. And I was talking to one of her mentors who said, Jen, so nice to meet you in person. Thank you so much for what you're doing for reproductive rights. And I was like, thank you for practicing OBGYN in Texas. Don't thank me. I am so thankful for you. You're on the ground dealing with this shit every day. I get to leave. You're stuck. And this med student, now an OBGYN, said, yeah, she told me that my baby had no brain, but then she couldn't do anything about it. So we had to put me on a plane and go to New Mexico and have my abortion procedure for my baby that would never live. And I had to sit there by myself for 14 hours because of COVID. And it's a little traumatizing. And I'm so excited to be an OBGYN. Yeah. The fact that an OBGYN had to sit there and be told that she had this condition, her baby had this condition, anencephaly, which has a 0% chance of survival, that because she lived in Texas, she wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So she'd be forced to carry her baby to term, expose herself to all the risks of pregnancy and childbirth because she lives in Texas. And she had to go somewhere else in this country where we're supposed to be in one country and have a procedure that she needed and wanted. But because people in Texas decided that she couldn't make that choice for herself, she had to go somewhere alone and do that. When I tell you the trauma that caused her family, people she cared, who cared for her, who couldn't do anything more. What the fuck are we doing in this country? What are we doing? What are we doing to people? And I don't care if you sit there and say, well, that's such a rare percentage and those should be fine, but it's the other ones that aren't. No. Stop deciding what people can do with their bodies when in the same breath you say you don't want a vaccine and you don't want to be forced to have it, or you don't want to be forced to wear your mask, or you don't want to be forced to be told that you have to go donate blood every week because we have a blood shortage. Sorry, you have to. It's about life. We have to keep people alive. How come that conversation hasn't happened? Because it's not about abortion. It's about control, and it's specifically about control of women, people with a uterus, and it's just so that you can get your agenda passed and get your votes. And it's not because you actually care about life. This woman is a strong woman with an amazing, bright future ahead of her. She will forever carry this trauma with her. Having a wanted pregnancy and not having it result in a healthy baby that you so wanted is traumatic as it is. And then to be told because of where you live that you are going to be subject to 40 weeks of ongoing mental and physical trauma because of a political agenda is disgusting. It's abusive. And it's a human rights violation. And I don't care if you say this is an extreme example. These things are happening, and I fucking hate it here. Okay, let's cleanse. Anyway, amazing conference, connected with a bunch of people, got back on the plane. Second I landed in Portland, carried myself differently because I had my sugar and spice and repro rights sweatshirt on. Got out of that plane, went to the airport, or walked through the airport, different vibe. It is disgusting what we're doing in this country right now. So I can be paralyzed about it. I can be angry. I can cry. I can do all those things in one day, or we can do some shit about it. So today, I'm going to get back to work, and I'm going to keep doing my shit. So cheers to that. But first I gotta unpack. Okay. How cute is some of this swag? I mean, y'all, just love it. Who's that? Yes. Had this at the conference. Super fun. You have no idea what I'm about to show you. It's the world's smallest speculum. And it opens. Look how small it is. I could make these could like almost be earrings, except, yeah. This is from IVF Phoenix. Like, swag is on point. On point, you know what I'm here for. Like, you know it. Okay, now we really need to unpack. Okay, there was a lot of sparkle, a lot of fun at my conference. This dress was the real MVP. I need a break. Oh. Just kidding. Okay, full transparency. I've just been sitting here for the past 45 minutes, and I was supposed to go take a shower and get ready for a call with Planned Parenthood. I'm a partner with them, and I do some social media stuff. And then I found out the meeting was canceled. So then I fell into the world of TikTok and Instagram. But that's okay. Sometimes you just need to do stupid stuff and whatever. All right, now I'm going to go shower, and I'm going to do some work. Maybe.
One eternity later.
Okay, it took me a real long time to get my butt in that shower. So I want to talk to you a little something. We're going to talk about mental health now, like fun vlog now. Now it's getting serious. I definitely have depression, anxiety, and Lexapro is my friend. And I'm here to tell you that if you need a medicine, if you need to get your serotonin from a bottle, that's okay. The reason I'm mentioning this is that after a big event, like an enormous conference where I'm meeting people that I look up to, that I've followed and I've known for a lot of years online, and I'm finally getting to meet them in real life, and it's this amazing emotional experience afterwards where I'm finding it really hard to like slide back into the day and slide back into my normal life. Not because I'm sad or I don't think my life is good. My therapist taught me the term post-event collapse syndrome. And what it is it's after a big event, struggling afterwards with like reintegrating into your life. So maybe it's because you're an introvert like me and you put yourself out there and you're like, oh, or you replay in your mind situations like, oh, was I okay? Did I act okay? Like, that's not my situation. Mine is that I just feel so bankrupt physically, emotionally, because I had this fantastic time. It's like I feel like I'm in this fog. And people who have issues with addiction often deal with this because they're spending so much of their time trying to like navigate social situations where things might be there, like alcohol or drugs. That's not me. But if that's you, that's okay. Or people with CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is something I've come to realize that I have from how I've grown up. And something I've never talked about really on social media or elsewhere. I'm not going to go into it too much today, but just suffice it to say that when you realize as an adult that your parents don't want you in their life and they just cut you out. And the reason is because you finally decided to speak up for yourself. And yet all along you kind of knew that would happen. It's hard. So we're not going to talk about all that today. Probably my parents watch this YouTube video, so because they probably get a nice contact high from getting to see me online, but not having to actually interact with me. But that's a topic for another day. And you know what? That's my story, and I'm not ashamed of it. And so, yes, if I need my max dose of my Lexapro, if I feel overwhelmed today and I have to run some errands, but and I'm processing all the stuff with like what I talked about earlier about being in Texas and feeling really overwhelmed, the state of the world right now, then you know what? That's fucking okay. And I'm going to go eat some eggs and some bacon. And I'm going to run my errands. And I've got one meeting later, a podcast. And I'll turn it on for that because I'm okay with that. I made a commitment. And then afterwards, I'm going to be okay being myself and being, I was going to say lazy, but I'm not lazy, being conscious of my need to relax. So if you struggle with mental health, I'm going to put some information down below. Just know that you're not alone. Your doctors are right there with you. God, we've been in a pandemic where people tell us we're horrible people and people call me murderers and blah, blah. But honestly, that stuff is nothing cuts like people who actually love you who don't love you anymore. So for the people who are the trolls and who say things like, nice try, you think you can hurt me? Anyway, I'm going to take my medication. I'm going to moisturize my face. That's the extent of it. And I'm going to get on with my day. And I'm going to be okay. And I hope you are too. All right, we are back in the car. I'm going to go feed myself. And then we're going to go run some fun little errands. I know, you're excited. I just found out that my favorite breakfast place that I was going to go to is not open today. And I'm so tired. I'm just, where am I going to eat? Oh, these are not real problems, but today they're my problems. Okay, let's problem solve, team. Okay, I know y'all were worried, but I found another place. Very excited. Also, this is how I keep myself entertained when I'm dining by myself. I love Russian literature. Thank you. I would like to give thanks to those of us gathered here today in my stomach. The bacon, the carbs, the coffee, the eggs, and the sourdough toast. We praise you. In hypertension's name, amen. Just kidding. It's okay to eat this stuff every now and again, and I have really good cardiac health, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, you shouldn't eat this kind of food all the time, but I needed it today. Okay, now we're going to run more errands. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, now we go to the post office because I got a notification that something is in my P.O. box. And I think you're going to like what it is. By the way, I do have a P.O. box if you guys want to send me stuff. Or don't, but don't send me weird stuff because, no thank you. All right, let's see what we got. Can I get it in the hole? Okay. You want to see what's in it? Oh, it's gonna be fun. Maybe I'll give some away. Should we do that? Because I think you'll want it. It's a whole heck of a lot of lube from Uber Lube. Thank you so much. I requested samples when I was at the ACOG meeting. So if you guys are like, oh my God, she's paid by Big Pharma. First of all, it's Big Lube. Second of all, they're not paying me anything. These are just samples. Everybody could use a little lube. Yay! Of course, when you go in your car to get your bags, everybody just has, abortion protest signs because you just never know when you might need them. I hate this so much. It's okay. We'll make it. All right. Let's go home. All right, last thing. Got to return the awesome Rent the One-Way dress that I wore at my conference this weekend. All right, so you survived me complaining about my errands, and I wanted to just take this moment, this very important video, to introduce you to Herbie. Herbie, do you have anything to say to our watcher? No. Okay. Yeah. So that's how that goes. I just realized that I have a talk I have to give tomorrow that I haven't finished yet, so I'm going to go work on that before I have a podcast. Yay! Okay, so my talk is done. I have a lot more work I need to do, but I'm beat and I have to do a podcast in 30 minutes. So I'm going to go lay down on the couch, take a much needed rest, and then I'll be ready to go. And then after that, it's going to be time to get my kiddos from school and just keeps going. But listen to your body. When you need to rest, do it. Okay. Take a short nap. It was not long enough. Now it's time to go wake up, turn on the charm, and go do a podcast, which I can be awake for an hour, right? I can do it. So I'm a terrible videographer, YouTuber person because I just did my podcast and I meant to record part of it to share here and I didn't, but it was a great podcast talking about Roe v. Wade and all those shenanigans. And I just realized I've got my uterus in the background because that is the way I live. Okay, I'm going to relax for a bit and then we're going to go get the kids from school and it just keeps going. And by relax, I mean go ahead and moderate a bunch of social media comments because that's my life. Alrighty. So picked up my kids from school, came home, and now they are outside playing basketball because it's a beautiful day. And I'm going to sign off this vlog because once my kids are home, I'm busy, I'm doing work, I'm spending time with them, eventually cooking dinner and just trying to spend time with them. So I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to film anymore today. And some of you have asked, like, what's the childcare situation? So my husband and I were both doctors, and it's us. We both work part-time. We work opposite days and nights. We do have a little bit of help from my mother-in-law, who just moved up here, and that's been invaluable because before that it was just us. We never had regular childcare except for when my first was a teeny tiny baby and I was in residency, and then first out as an attending. And sometimes it's a little crazy. So I've never done a vlog before. I don't know if you guys have any interest in this, but I appreciate you taking the time to watch, to let me talk to you about reproductive rights, what I experienced in Texas this weekend, and what it just made me think as a whole, mental health, the fact that I don't like grocery shopping and running errands. I mean, I know it's not that exciting, but I think it's important for you to see that we doctors, we're regular people. I'm a doctor, I'm a mom, I'm an advocate. I'm tired sometimes, and I don't always have it all together, and I don't always have the makeup on and the curls done, and that's okay. Some days you struggle more than others. It's important to listen to your body, to know when you need a rest. So with that said, I'll have to think of what I'm going to do for next week for some content, but stay tuned. Maybe we'll do a giveaway for all the lube that I now have in my house. All right, everybody. Till next week. Stay safe out there.